appreciate you for tuning back in. After our first episode that premiered last Sunday, as today is June 27th, that we're recording this on, right after a little bit of the second round of NBA draft. I appreciate you for coming back and tuning in. Today we got a good bit of topics on, as it's been a minute. So I got to cover a lot of news as we're trying to get more consistent posting and things like that. So I appreciate you tuning in. But for today's slate, we want to talk about a little about JJ Redick's hiring of the Lakers, being hired by the Lakers. Also talk about the first round pick, Dalton Neck for the Lakers. The Malik Monk re-signing we'll be touching on a little bit. Chicago trade for Josh Giddey and getting rid of Alex Caruso. We'll be talking about that, how it impacts OKC and their ability in the West. Also, our last topic, we'll be talking about the New York Knickerbockers, how they've risen up and become a super team almost. You'll see, but appreciate you coming in. Boosh. All right, first segment of the day, we're talking about the JJ Redick hiring. As I told you, I was a little behind, and we're gonna talk about JJ Redick's in his first moves. I feel like JJ Redick hiring was almost like a good hiring, man. I thought it was pretty thought out process. You got a guy that you bring in that's talk with your superstar, and he's NBA knowledge of former player. He has the great idea of what the NBA life is like. He's a recent former NBA player, so it's just he knows how the game it was transitioning as he was leaving as well. So you bring in a great knower of the game and probably a great person that you know is gonna get along with your best player. And I think it just works really well with what you're trying to do if you're LA. And JJ's first move is to draft Dalton Connect, which is something a plus for the Lakers. They needed Dalton Connect. Dalton Connect brings a different aura and asset to this Lakers team. The Lakers, I want to say, last year had three guys at most, maybe D'Lo at times, that could create their own shot consistently. LeBron, AD, and Rui Hachimura, who were consistently able to create their own shot. And that's what they need. You need a guy. When LeBron's not in the game, we don't need people just going in, boom. I need people to come in and score and be able to create their own shot without having to distribute the ball and just get the ball and go. If you're the Lakers, you have an aging LeBron, of course, and you have AD now who's becoming into your number one option. So you need those shooters, and Don't Connect is going to be your best shooter on your team, really. If we're thinking about it, even though we were top 10 shooting, 3-point shooting team last year, we still want that added shooter. Like once that guy's on the court, we can't leave him. So that helps out LeBron, because when you have LeBron working in the mid post or in the low post down low, and you want somebody to, if they double down, it's a three ball. They can't double off Connect. They can't leave off Connect in the corner. So I really think that was a thought out process and a thought out pick. Because Connect, he's just not a 3-point scorer. He can create his own shot off the dribble. He can attack the basket very aggressively. And aggressive, when LeBron doesn't have the ball, you still need to be aggressive playing the game. And that's going to make people, actually, I might have to help off that to stop him from scoring. Because a lot of times last year in the Lakers games, you see him, LeBron's not throwing the passing the ball and they're wide open. They're not being aggressive. They're looking to give it back to Braun or AD, which I understand. Those are your best players. But sometimes you got to be aggressive and take it and make yourself seem like a threat. Even if you're not a threat, you need to make yourself seem like it to the defense, or they won't respect you. I thought Dalton Connect met the needs they wanted. Second pick. In the second round, they chose Bronny James. I think Bronny is what you need in the NBA to have a successful team. I don't care about what they say about only reason he's in the league because of his father. It's happened everywhere in the league. We have GMs, we have coaches. I have Giannis Antetokounmpo in Milwaukee. I'm not saying he's in the league because of his brother, but he's in the league right now, and his brother plays on that same team. So we have other things like it, examples like it. So I want to get that out the window. Bronny, you want Bronny to come in. He's not going to be a superstar right away. He is not. Bronny's going to have to find his role on that team. And that team needs scrappy players coming off that bench that's going to bring energy. When you have Jamal Murray tear the Lakers up like he did last year in the playoffs, you need somebody to come on the bench that's not going to be afraid to commit a foul. Smack him one good time. I want to see how Jamal reacts to it. You want scrappy players that's going to change the game, affect the game when they come in, taking charges, getting deflections, just being a pest. Once you have those guys in the game and you're running the flow and you're controlling the tempo of the game, because defensively you're getting stops and you have a pest on the other side who's going to slow the game down and who's going to make it the other opponent's point guard with Ryan James or a shooting guard a living hell. Their life's going to be a living hell with Bronny. That's what I think Bronny's role could be on this team. He can all. That's what I think he should be doing on this team. Because that's what the team needs. He's a second round pick. Might be bouncing back and forth between the G League and NBA. And by the end of the season, I see him being a rotational piece for the Lakers playoff run. I can see it. If he's used right in that pest role, be able to come in, give them energy off the bench, and be able to just give them solid minutes. Because Gabe Vincent didn't play a lot last year. And you look at Gabe Vincent, maybe he could be that pest. Gabe Vincent wasn't what he should have been last year. You bring in Bronny because you believe that he can be what you want a Gabe Vincent to be able to shoot the three ball, be able to facilitate, be able to be a pest. Gabe Vincent in Miami was a pest. He got the best player almost 94 feet half the time. He didn't get that production last year. It's a production league. What can you do for me? What did you do for me last? Gabe hasn't done that in two years. Been at his best. Bronny's a young guy. Rookie contract, second round contract. You're not paying him a lot. So it's things to it, and it's going to help out this Lakers team a lot more than people think if they can understand what his role is and what he should be doing. All right, some other things we want to look at for JJ Redick's hiring is the implications to the Lakers in general. JJ Redick's a smart guy, and he understands spacing in the NBA now. With him being in the league throughout that time and understanding how the league was transitioning as he was leaving. The league is, it's a lot more space than it used to be. And spacing is everywhere. Spacing is key. You see with Boston, when they had their best five out there, spacing was impeccable, man. Impeccable. Defenses can't guard when there's so much spacing out there. It's nearly impossible. So I think JJ Redick brings a different dimension of how he's going to space out AD. I think AD 3-point numbers go back up. I want his short corner numbers to go back up for him just to be able to space the floor. And when you have more spacing on the Lakers, that opens up more lives for AD. And when you have Don't Connect on the floor, AD, that brings in more skips across the court for Don't Connect when people want to double down on the post from AD. It's going to open up a lot more in our offense and create easier possessions. Because Lakers, they get in a lot of hard possessions because Braun's got to do this. Braun's got to facilitate, then try to score. If somebody, it's a lot of too much instead of just playing basketball. And Don't Connect helps free that up. And JJ Redick's hiring, I think space is going to be a lot different because Darvin Ham, I think Darvin Ham is a better coach than JJ. This is JJ's first gig. I think Darvin Ham's a better coach than JJ. But I think JJ's realization of spacing in the now NBA, it was going to help the Lakers be better. Darvin Ham, I don't think he truly understands how the spacing is in the NBA right now and how it needs to be and how offenses need to flow and how fluid it has to be in order for you to be successful. And that kind of hurt the Lakers. By me, it's no fault on Darvin Ham, but it just wasn't in the ideology and the scheme. But these two different coaches bring different schemes. Like Darvin Ham, my team is going to be more physical than JJ Redick's team, I think. I truly think that. But that's we're gonna have to see that. I think JJ Redick, he's gonna help the Lakers probably go back up in the field goal percentage, leading the league in it again. And I think it's gonna help a lot, and it's gonna take the pressure off LeBron. If you take the pressure off LeBron and just put it on, spread it out between others, I think it would be a lot better success for the Lakers. I truly do. I truly do. Whew. And with the Lakers, you have D'Angelo Russell, who's owed almost $19 million. Gabe Vincent, $11 million. There's a lot of money, almost $30 million to those two guys. You need production from them coming up this year, so it's going to be very interesting to see how JJ uses those two guys, 2 point guards, and I'm excited to see it. All right, our next segment here, the Chicago and Oklahoma City Thunder trade this past week. I really think it was a great trade for both sides. I do. First, I want to start with Chicago. You send off Caruso on good terms. You send him off good terms. You don't have to pay that money because Caruso's on an expiring contract this year, upcoming year. You don't have to pay that money. You get a young player in Giddey who's still on his rookie deal, which is good. You can build around. Let's have that youth. You still have Ayo DeSumo, Kobe White. You still have young pieces. Pat Will. You have a lot of young pieces because you have Lonzo who's on a player option this year. I don't know if he's going to take it, but he's most likely going to opt in that player option as he plans on playing this year. So you get what Chicago, you get a lot of top heavy in their guard. So they have a lot of guard play this upcoming season. And Chicago, do you see yourself in a good position because you have DeMar as a free agent. He's an unrestricted free agent. He's probably going to walk because he's looking to win now. DeMar is getting up there in age, and he's looking to win now. So I would see him walking this offseason. I know I've been hearing rumors about them trying to move Vucevic, but I don't know what that contract, if anyone wants to take Vucevic. Because Vucevic, I don't know, with him in the modern NBA, he doesn't move well enough to be playable. The modern NBA, unless you're going to play a slow tempo game, a lot of teams are getting out of that. A lot of half court sets. A lot of teams don't like running half court sets. Vucevic doesn't just do a lot for you, for your need. He does have that spacing component which is needed, but with the drop coverages and the switches that's happening on the NBA, he becomes a liability because defensively he can't move, he can't block shots like he used to. So that's the predicament you get into because no one wants that money and also a liability on defensively because you got to have a bid that can guard in this league. And if you're going to pay him that money, he's got to be playing. So it gets a little tricky with Vucevic's situation. In Chicago, I think they're in a good situation if they want to start over, which I believe they are starting over. I believe they will rebuild what they have because I don't know what the goal is for Chicago. I don't know what the goal is for Chicago for the future moving forward. You took a young guy last night, Linky Wing. I can't remember his name, but you took a Linky Wing last night, and he looks like he's going to be able to play in Chicago. And he's from Chicago, and he looks legit. So you bring him on that process. I just want to see how it all fits. What's our plan? We have an expiring DeMar DeRozan who's not coming back, and we have a Lonzo Ball who's been out for almost 3 years. So Lonzo's gonna opt in that player option. I think he should be playing this year, and it's gonna be something because you have Ayo, you have Kobe, you have Lonzo. Those are 3 guards, right? And you have Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey's not a guard, but he plays. He's a ball dominant forward, and Josh Giddey playing off the ball is not something I would think you would want with his inability to shoot the ball efficiently. So I don't know how that works. I don't know what their goal is. I don't understand what they're gonna do moving forward. Um, let's go to OKC side. OKC, I think they get the needle they needed. Getting Alex Caruso is a steal on an expiring contract as well. So you get a 1 year rental almost. You can re-sign him if you do think want to, and I think that's just awesome. All NBA defender, a vet who's gonna know what he's doing, and it's gonna take some pressure off of just Shea and everyone. You got a guy that can guard the best player and one of the best, the other team's best player. That's gonna take a lot of pressure off those guys and able to have more freedom and lets Chet roam a lot more. And it's gonna be a lot more defensive ball pressure. When you have defensive ball pressure, you get a lot more steals, and you get in the passing lanes a lot more. And you get in passing lanes, you get a lot more steals. That leads to more easy points. And Oklahoma City was one of the top scoring teams in the league last year, and that's more easy points is what they need and what they want. And they have a great scheme up there. I understand what they're trying to do in place. They're building around Shea. You have Shea. You took a point guard last night in the draft. You building and building and building and building. Sam Presti's doing a great job up there. And Alex Caruso is the piece that you want on that team. I have a guy that can shoot the three ball as well. Basically, I have a 3 and D guy out there that I'm getting in this trade, an elite 3 and D player. He's gonna play defense at a high level. He's gonna shoot the three ball at a high level. He's gonna make your cuts. He's gonna cut like he's trying to dunk on somebody every time. He's gonna play with that intensity and bring the intensity, especially when it comes to playoff time. He's gonna bring that intensity, and that's why I feel like OKC lacked a little bit last year, that intensity when they needed it most. And the veteran presence, hey, we need to slow down because last year, this past playoffs, they play against the Mavericks, and I see them just accelerated and moving a lot faster than they have to. The Mavericks defense wasn't pressuring; it's just they wanted to move so fast, and when you really don't need to, when you got that special amount, that special talent on offense and a Chet, Shea, and J Dub, man, you can play at any pace you want to. I just feel like last year Dallas sped them up, and they didn't have to be. They had that false sense of being sped up, and I feel like Oklahoma City was the better team. But now you have a veteran here that's going to help them calm that down, and guys coming back from that last playoff run, who knows what they did wrong and how they can be better. Because OKC, they were a great team last year, but great teams gotta learn how to finish at times. The Celtics didn't just magically appear in the finals. They had to go through some ups and downs and ups and downs. We made it to the finals 2022. Boom, lose conference finals. Boom, they come back and they done deal. Jason Tatum had to learn. Jaylen Brown had to learn. So when you have these younger guys and all on their rookie deals, you got Shea. I'm pretty sure he signed an extension already. But they're gonna learn. They love playing the game with basketball together on that team for that city and for their coach, Mark Daigneault. So that's a great, easy combination for them, really. And I really like what OKC's got going on. I love the Alex Caruso trade, really. Boom. Another resigning we're gonna talk about here is Malik Monk gets resigned to the Kings, man. I think Monk gets slept on a little bit more than he should be. Malik Monk is one of the best elite scorers in this league. He can score anywhere. Athleticism, he can shoot the ball, he can do anything you want. And I think it's a huge resigning for the Kings. I think the Kings need to resign more and go into the free agency market and look for more bench players to help because they're a good team. They're a good team that missed out last year in the playoffs. They're trying to make the stride from good to great, and they're missing one piece. And the athletic wings in this league you need at times to be successful is what the Kings I think they're missing. They have Keegan Murray, they have De'Aaron Fox, they have Monty Sabonis. great pieces, but there's something more. And Malik Monk, there's something more they do need. The Malik Monk re-signing is just one of the things they needed. They needed re-sign Malik Monk because how much he's so great off the bench, and they're missing an athletic wing, and I think with that athletic wing they'll be able to be successful because athletic wings will be able to play defense and be able to switch. And you have athletic wings usually turn to 3-and-D guys who can shoot the three ball. And developmentally, they just get better and better and better. But I think that the Kings are in a spot right now where it's like, dang, do we move one of our best players? Do we move one of them? We might stick one. How do we draft? How are we drafted? They just traded Davion Mitchell today, who was a lottery pick from a couple years back. So it's like now we're moving on from what we did think was the plan. Davion Mitchell was Mr. Lockdown when he first came in, but short guards in the NBA right now aren't the lingo, aren't what you want. Davion Mitchell might have been 6 foot at best, 6'1", short guard, and defensively, he was a nightmare. But when he had to go against the tall players in this switching league, he struggled. Because everybody's just ball up here, low post. I got him. Shoot over that. Mid post. Shoot over that. The Kings are moving in the right direction. They drafted Jamal Sheed, good looking prospect. And I just think they're going to be on the way up, but they have a lot more things they need to do because they're a good team. But from good to great is a long way. I called OKC a great team a couple minutes ago, and they haven't won anything yet. They're a great team. But it's levels to the greatness of those teams. Celtics are a great team. They are the NBA champions for a reason. Nobody else on the NBA is on the same level as the Celtics. And they're a great team. They have great players everywhere. Not every team has great players everywhere. And I just feel like the Kings, they're a good team. I feel like they're missing one essential spot. One essential spot. From a couple games I did watch from this past year, I feel like they're missing something. I don't know if De'Aaron Fox is what you want or with Sabonis. I don't know if Sabonis brings the intensity. He's a great rebounder. He's a great passer. Does he bring the great defensively intensity? Does he bring defensive intensity like he should? I don't know. Is that what's killing us? Because we have a defensive anchor and defensive enforcer on that side. Like, nobody's going to go inside that paint, man. Like, if you switched off one of Chris Paul for Porzingis or Bam Adebayo, like, hey, those are some defensive guys. Swing the rock the other way. When they see Sabonis, barbecue chicken alert. It's time. But once again, I think the Kings made a great decision re-signing Malik Monk. I think probably one of the best things they could have done. For our last segment here, we're going to talk about the New York Knicks, man. And in my notes here, I have really talking about before even the New York Knicks re-sign OG Anunoby or trade from Kel Bridges, I had Paul George movement to the East Coast, maybe to the Knicks. Throw that out the window. And man, the Knicks moved themselves into position, as I talked about in the first episode, about what Indiana needed to do in order to beat Boston. The Knicks have done it. They've signed 2 bigger wings to be able to play against Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. OG Anunoby's probably going to come back. Hopefully he's healthy so we can see a healthy New York Knicks team. Hopefully. I would love to see that team healthy. That's all they need. A healthy squad. They can go pretty far. And trading for Mikal Bridges. Bingo. Excellent trade. Excellent trade. You don't give up a lot. Give up a lot of picks. But if you plan on winning, those picks don't matter. you plan on winning, they don't matter. You're gonna get them back somehow. I'm pretty sure they just got some more picks today, in the second round. But Mikal Bridges is an A+ trade, A+ trade, and it's not even close. Mikal Bridges brings that 3-point shooting that he turned into in Brooklyn. He brings that intensity, and he brings availability. That guy's gonna be there almost every game, something that OG hasn't been able to do. So when that OG's ever out, you still gotta deal with Mikal Bridges, who's a defensive gnat. He's always gonna be. You're always gonna be swatting him away, trying to get away from you, get a screen so they can switch off of him. But it doesn't matter in New York, because in New York you're gonna switch off to somebody even more that's gonna want to play defense. It's gonna be on you. Now in New York you have two guys with Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart that gonna hustle their butt off, man. They're gonna hustle as much as they can. You got two guys, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, who are gonna be available and be active. And you got four Noble boys. I do not know how DiVincenzo will do. I don't know if he's re-signed or is planning on re-signing. I don't know where that money's gonna come from, honestly, because they re-signed OG to a lot of money, and Mikal signed an extension with the Nets a couple years back. So I don't know how this is gonna work, but the Knicks are doing it. They're setting a plan together, setting a team together that's gonna challenge the Celtics, man. Jalen Brunson has shown these past two playoffs he is that guy. He ain't one to fool around with. He will give you 40. He will give you 50. So don't play with him. He's not something to be played with, man. And when you bring a supporting cast of his friends around, that's even better, man. So, the Knicks, congratulations. You just went a step further in challenging the Celtics. But how is Thibodeau gonna play Anunoby in his second season? Anunoby, with his injury problems on his elbow, he can't play Tibbs hard minutes all the time. He can't play him. He can't do him. And that sucks, but it's a blessing in disguise, because you want OG ready for the playoffs. That you truly want OG Anunoby ready for the playoffs. And giving him less minutes is what you should be thinking that you should do. Honestly, there should be no other option. Mikal, he's gonna come in. He's gonna be starting. He's gonna give you energy. And going against them is gonna be god awful. I can tell you that now. And I feel like Knicks are just missing one thing, man. They're missing a center, because Isaiah Hartenstein's probably leaving in free agency, and they're trying to get Mitchell Robinson off the books right now. So I need them to have at least a decent center. I think Julius Randle's gonna get moved pretty soon, because they just don't have any money to sign anybody back. I know Deuce McBride's a free agent, I'm pretty sure. So they're freeing up money as it goes. And maybe a Zach Collins as your center fits well. He's going to bring that Thibodeau intensity and physicality, like a Joakim Noah. Zach Collins is going to be able to do that. He showed it in San Antonio. He's going to bring some of that grit into New York. And you're just looking for some good bigs. Maybe a Thomas Bryant from Miami who's on a two-way deal. It's something you might have to look into. But it's just all different options, and it just brings more a wide spectrum. Because guess what? Porzingis is going to be out 5 to 6 months, which is going to bleed into the regular season. You might not see Porzingis for the first 2 months of the regular season. You might not see him until January. And with that being said, next you have a golden opportunity to take the number 1 seed easily. Because you've shown, when healthy, last year you would have been a top 3 seed. When healthy, you were a top 3 seed. Even though the East was a jumbled mess from maybe 3 all the way down to 8. It was a jumbled mess. But in New York, you have that confidence. And man, I just got the Nova boys are here now. Fully decked and ready. So it just brings a lot of If I'm a New York fan, I'm happy. If I'm Tom Thibodeau, man, I got defenders on deck. I got Josh Hart, I got OG, I got Mikal Bridges. So right now they're suited to be able to play against Boston without Porzingis. When Boston comes back with Porzingis, what's going to be the answer the Knicks have? What's the answer the Knicks have at center? Because I'm not saying you need a true post presence, because you get a post presence with Jalen Brunson working down low sometimes. But what presence are we going to bring with that center? Is he going to be a lob threat? Is he going to be a guy that can just hit the short corner three? What are we looking for? What do we think we need if we're New York? We need a rim protector still. If you're trying to get rid of Mitch, you need a rim protector. So I don't know who you look at if you want that rim protector. So, New York, I think you're really in like top tier territory. I'm not gonna lie to you. And it's low key frustrating, really almost frustrating at some point, because man, I see the Knicks out here not afraid to spend some money to make some money. And they're doing it, man. They're setting a team up to be able to take down Boston in the East and potentially compete for a title. You're right, New York.